Go with some open mic readers. So I'd like to invite the first of our, we've got 4 open mic readers, so I'd say 2 poems please, maximum. If you would please give a big welcome to Paul, please.
Some caffeine inside my bloodstream, so it should be okay. As long as I can actually see this. Yeah. Got some 2 very new ones actually, so I'm going to unleash them upon you. This is called She. I am going to go up to here to see her. She was freedom incarnate, a warrior, total and complete, whilst I, a desperate trier. For she was fire, she was iron and she was water. I was eggshell. She could easily survive the freeze, and did so. I could not. How I longed to be like her. She moved like salmon, a swar in flight. I, a bending, injured mule. One of a sisterhood, she came in unity. I, the lone wolf. I came in false pretense. She had power, form and spirit. Her presence had grace. She came knowing, whilst I had but my thin veneer. She was dolphin and deer. She was naked, proud and strong. I was just naked. She brought song and prayer, intention and fierce love. I brought only hope. She with tribe, I alone. She is a magnificent herb. I am a damp length of straw. How I long to be her. Then, somewhere. No, that's a doctor's note, isn't it? This one. Short ditty, there's another new one. Feather. I witnessed that feather being shed. And I waited. And I waited. The most majestic peacock on earth. And I waited. I bode my time fruitfully and with calculated calm. I waited. When to me apparent that feather was free, I strove, and I took that feather. Then I waited. Then I waited. For you, my love, I waited.
Thank you very much, Paul. Tiny bit of audience consultation. I put on an extra heater in the interval. It's slightly noisy. Would you rather the heater stayed on or be slightly cooler?
Don't mind.
Shall we try without the heater, and then if you start going brrr, we'll put it back on.
Could we have a Brexit?
Yeah. There is another heater on, it's just the fan heater is a bit noisy. If your teeth start chattering, don't be afraid to shout out.
Maybe we should phone Mrs May, she knows how to make decisions.
Okay, our next open mic spot. Somebody, some years ago, we used to turn up every year at the same festival in Hastings. Always loved his work. Very astute and clever poet. Graham Brown.
The way he walks, I can tell it's from the Isle of Wight.
Right, there's a town in America called Truth or Consequence, which is a bit of an unusual name. And apparently there was a quiz show of that name, and they had a bit of a publicity stunt where they wanted the mayor of this town to change the name to Truth or Consequence, which for a small amount of money he decided to do so. And I was thinking, well, what places in this country could we, what quiz shows could we have a place named after? You know, we've already got deals, so that's out. And then it came to me, pointless. Another pointless day begins in the small town of Pointless. The sun rises over the pointless hill. As in pointless streets, pointless people resume their pointless existence. Dog walkers take their pointless pointers for pointless exercise. As pointless paper boys deliver the pointless news. And pointless milkmen finish their pointless rounds. Soon the pointless shops will be open for pointless business. And the pointless football team will this afternoon be looking for their first points of the season. Later, the poppy red sun will set in the pointless sky over the pointless war memorial to pointless wars. Right, thanks. Now this one is called Old School Tie. Old school tie. All that remains of the young man I once was. A boy who dared to dream before life got in the way. Memories from the classroom of my mind are invoked. Morning assembly. Awake my soul, and with the sun thy daily course of duty run. Teachers in academic gowns, past imperfect, proper nouns, quadrangles, acute angles, declensions, detentions, secret meetings, floggings, beatings, the notch titans, algebra, four-figure terms, Jenkins' ear, diet of worms, Crimean War, Boyle's bloody law, no running in the corridor, physical torture, climbing the rope, communal cold showers, slippery soap, prefects and defects, abandoning hope. This reunion can be nothing but a disaster. I still must attend, I was the headmaster.
I like this.
Very good.
Thank you, Graham.
That's lovely.
Haven't lost your touch. So good to hear you again. Okay, then we continue now with poet new to Dodo Modern Poets. Please welcome Mr. Django Moon.
Thank you. This is my first time reading. A little intro, if I may. I was born and bred in this fair city, but I left over 30 years ago and have lived in Asia all that time. About 7 years ago, my only son went off to university, which gave me the time to take the biggest journey, which is the journey within, and through various meditations and lots of silence and solitude, finding my soulmate, losing my soulmate, and most recently some trips to the Amazon to work with a shaman there. Poetry has become the thing that I've taken to, so I'd like to share 2 poems with you today. Thank you. The first one is called Meditations. These are my meditations, wordy configurations, soulful deliberations, holy exaltations. A product of many nations, multiple transportations, trusting embarkations, welcoming destinations, flowing with groovy gyrations, mindful exaggerations, deep examinations, clarifying explanations, otherworldly solicitations, metaphysical temptations, supernatural evocations, spiritual ramifications, power-laden incantations, age-old Gnostic recitations, boundless indications, infinite manifestations. No more crying devastation, personal flagellation, angry representation, egoistic manipulation. Soaring to my own space station, experiencing elation, mind, body, soul sensation. This is my meditation. And perhaps a little bit like Paul, having spent a lot of time in solitude, the search for the goddess goes on. I write a lot about that. And this one is quite simply called Searching. I went searching for the goddess, but where do you begin? And will it ever end? I put an ad in the paper, wanted goddess, you know who you are, dogs need not apply. I actually wrote gods need not apply, but the young typographer was a cross-eyed dyslexic. I put another ad in the paper, lonely God seeks better half. Let's save each other and fly to the stars. But I got the same guy. And the ad read, bony dog seeks hotter bath. Let's shave each other and stare at the flies. I could try Tinder, but I don't have internet. The goddess might work in mysterious ways, but Tinder doesn't. It requires a connection. I have no connection, no goddess, no Tinder, no dog. I continue searching without a search engine. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Django Moon. Is this your Guinness?
It is indeed, yes. Thank you very much.
Okay, the very last of our lovely open mic poets this afternoon. Please welcome Rachel Woolf.
Thank you. I recently was lucky enough to attend 3 poetry workshops in Hale, the far end of Cornwall, which were to do with the history of the First World War in Cornwall. And I discovered things that I didn't know, and I want to share them with you. One of the workshops was on the National Explosives Factory. There was an explosives factory because of the mining, and this became a huge facility during the war for manufacture of armaments. And it was girls and young women who were doing this work. There were First World War posters saying the women are doing their bit, learn to make munitions. And the factory was hidden in the sand dunes, or towns, town meaning dune in Cornish, and you'll hear that word in the poem. Covered a large area, but there was lots of small huts with very light wooden roofs, so that if there was an explosion, few people would be killed. The work was making high explosives, assembling shells, grenades and bullets. The shifts were 12 hours long, and the smallest spark could cause disaster. And for that reason, this poem is called Mortal Danger. When I call for Aggie, she's as usual not quite ready. Setting on her hat, she almost sashes out the door in a puff of perfume. Has she forgot the men has gone to war? She links arms and presses close as we skip along together. Our footsteps, a rhythmic chorus as we face the day before us at the National Explosives Factory, filling tubes with cordite, gelignite and the like. Diligent and vigilant, alert, keen-eyed and wary. Aggie peels off first with a "keep safe, beloved," and a cheery "see you later." The look she gives me sends a shiver. It's not unlike the glances she threw to my big brother as he marched with his battalion in boots and blancoed gaiters to the wall. As I hurry to my hut, hidden in the towns where no spark may take hold, that would be mortal danger. I pick up a seagull feather and I put it in my pocket for Aggie to adorn her hat on the homeward trail. When the endless shift is finished, Aggie takes it with a flourish and tickles me and giggles. And it seems as what a spark ignites, right or wrong, wrong or right. Dynamite? Dynamite. And what happened to those high explosives is the subject of the next poem. There was a workshop, one of the workshops was on the 251st Tunnelling Company, which was set up in Hale, a company of the Royal Engineers, a military unit, but without the usual recruitment criteria for enlisting, because what they wanted was miners who knew how to tunnel. They didn't have to be of a certain age or a certain height or a certain this or a certain that. They just needed to know how to tunnel. And they offered the miners twice the pay that they were getting in the on the tin mines to enlist. And this poem is called Darkness. I'm tunnelling where dark is dark. Yes, I know I was well used to darkness back in Kurnow, but this is not the same. Here there is no metal to be mined, but mines to be laid beneath the German lines. The Saturday night rivalry between the lads of Foundry and of Coppertown is played out to excess, not merely cuffs and scuffles. We two gangs of tunnellers, them from Krautland, us from Kurnow, pull no punches in inflicting on the chaps in hostile trenches sudden death. Does that other tunnelling crew engaging in this ballyhoo share the comradeship we do to see us through the bloody fight till this benighted land wakes from its blighted night? I should just have explained before I read that poem that Hale is a very long town with a huge industrial engineering and metal heritage, and one end of it is called Foundry and the other end is called Coppertown, and I think there's always been some traditional rivalry between the two ends of it.
Thank you. Can I say before we move back to our featured prize this afternoon, please leave your email addresses if you're new to Dodo and you would like to be kept in touch with our future readings here and elsewhere. So I'd like to welcome back now